Want to take a second to just kind of go over all of this price action that we had today. Kind of so today I was a little bit upset because I didn't take the trade that I really initially wanted to take. My bias was bullish on the day, just because we had a really good buy side right here, but then we took out that buy side, we manipulated above 830, and then we just had terrible price action right in here. Um, and just didn't really get a lot. And I didn't execute. Like I feel like I should have, and that really just bothered me. I think honestly, when I don't execute on things that I know I could have executed on, it bothers me more than a loss at this point in time. So yeah, there's that, and I think going forward, sometimes I like to listen to other streamers and other people who are online and just kind of hear their thoughts and their opinions on the markets and kind of like the trades they're taking, but then I kind of try and defer to them for their opinion on the market and the trades that they're taking. And it just for me at least, I've noticed that like there's this desire to like know the right answer, the know the right what's the right move to make. And I stopped trusting my own intuition, my own gut on like what I think the right move is to make. And at that point in time I start to doubt my own read on the market. And so I guess that's advice for y'all. You probably shouldn't be listening to streamers or anything like that. You should listen to your own intuition on the market and what you think you should be doing. Otherwise you're probably not going to be making the right move. So I missed that move and I waited around right here. There was a couple moves in here that I think were really good, and because I noticed that after this, like we were going short. But after that, I just got off because I was really getting kind of bummed. I was really upset, and I was just kind of annoyed. So coming into the market today, um, this is the 9:30 open right around this area. We had taken out these lows right before market open, and I didn't think we were gonna go down into here. This was a rejection block. If you look at it on like the 15 minute, you get that big wick right there. So it was a high likelihood that we are gonna come in there and we're gonna reject. This is a low that's it's pretty low. If we break through this low and on the daily candle, if we on the daily candle below this. So if we end the day, which is not too long from here, below this via candle, then I think this will be our next target right here. Down at 27,940, we have a volume imbalance right there, fair value gap. It just makes sense on the daily chart. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, so I got off the charts just because I knew I was upset, and when I miss something, that's like for me, that's the most painful. Is when I don't execute when I know I should have. That for me is like the epitome of like, dude, why? But man, I'm still a new trader. Like I'm still not that experience of a trader, and so there's all that going on too. So let's go ahead and see what happens. So right here, this is the 9:30 open right here. This is the first candle we get. We come into so we're looking at this. This is our sell side right here. This is that Asia. I don't know if you remember, but we had this Asia buy day or buy evening that just went up, and then we had these equal level lows, and I knew we were gonna probably attack those. But pre-market, we had come in and we'd swipe those real quick, and we candle below them, and then I had the halfway mark between here and there, which was there was actually another low right over here. So I had marked out event horizon, but we ended up taking this low along with reaching into that rejection block, um, or right at open. And following this, we had a really good move higher. So right here, we move up higher. This is at 931. And then we come up and then we wick down and we basically just touch the order block right here. So we get this order block, right? So we get this move up, creating this order block right here. Boom. We had these really good equal level highs, and then we had 830 above us as well, which hadn't been tapped. So um we had these equal, this order block created, boom, right there. We had this fair value gap, right here, which I remember I was looking at that as well. And of course, we play off that. So we hit the consequent encroachment. We come back down. We touch this order block. And if we look at it, we're actually like not touching the 50% of that order block. So it's kind of interesting. And then we displace right through this um we inverse this fair value gap right here. We get a fair value gap right here, which is our first presented fair value gap of the day, which is right here. And then we get that retest, which is exactly where my entry should have been. That's the 2022 model. We move up to the 830 price. Um, that was my play. That's kind of what I was looking for. That's what I wanted, and I just didn't take it. And it sat there for a while and it did that. So, you live, you learn. And then we hit this 830 price. We hit this fair value gap right here. I had that marked out as well. So I'm getting better at like finding these little areas that we need to pay attention to, which is cool. And then we get this inversion right here. So we inverse right here. And we come down. We take out the first presented fair value gap. So we inverse that. We re-inverse that. And this whole entire time, I was still thinking that we were going to move higher. But as time kind of went on, we started creating these lower lows, like we have this trend line here now that I think will probably be attacked at some point. But we created these lower lows and we kind of kept on coming up, and just like really choppy hard like market. And I just noticed that, and there was a couple times where I almost pressed a button to buy, but I decided not to because I saw how choppy this was. And I just was like, nah, dude, I'm not getting in this right now. So this is actually we get this move. So we get this move at 10:37. So 10 o'clock really didn't do much. 10 o'clock is right here. Yeah, not much going on with 10 o'clock. I guess we sweep this low. So we come up here. We touch this area right here, this inversion, and then we just come down here. We sweep that. We don't even take the 930 low. Then we come up here, and then we create this guy right here. So at this point in time, we had this high to this low. So if I measured, I bet you money. Yeah, so this is the halfway point exactly. Look at this inversion fair value gap. That's exactly 50% of that range. Sorry that I'm cooking as well. I'm trying to get some dinner cooked up right here. But we get this point right here, and we're kind of using that. Like we're using this area right here. We come down, we sweep 930 right here. And I remember looking at this like, oh yeah, and then it just shot up. Like this candle was almost 100 points. Yeah, this candle was 100 points. 94.7. But we have no wick right there, which is you know, a little bit indicative of a possible. See, I was looking at longing in here, but here's the thing is I don't like this. Why I don't like this is because we haven't really I don't know what we're delivering from, honestly. I can't like say that I'm comfortable longing here, just not knowing where we're delivering from. Like if we had swept around here or swept this, that would be one thing, but I don't know what we're delivering from here. But we do have these equal level highs up here, so it would have made sense, um, to shoot for those, but I just didn't know. Like and we did get an entry model on it right here. So we get that CISD, we get a retap into that 1 minute fair value gap. So we do get there was an entry model into it. But anyways, I'm not trading after 11. Like I'm more interested in not being a gambler and just like sticking to my rules and just, you know, um, doing my best to discipline myself because even right now I do feel emotional. I feel like I'm pissed off, I'm a little bit aggravated about these trade today and even though it was a really, really difficult day, I've been trading for like 8 months and so I shouldn't expect that much of myself out of myself, but it's just frustrating, like I feel like I saw this trade and I didn't take it and that's just annoying. We never get up to the halfway point of the RTH gap, so that's going to be something that I'm sure we're going to have to get to some point. Um, Anyways, so right here, and then we get this huge displacement up. We're taking out the buy side right here. We come up and we meet 50% of this leg once more. Although 50% of the leg is now a little bit larger. And then we inverse this fair value gap. And I was kind of like, well, I think this is kind of like where you would want to take this trade at this point in time. Because we get this heavy displacement down, we inverse this fair value gap, we come back up. We don't have the ability to come up and retest that. And then we come down and we drop down. And we take out that first presented fair value gap. So we come in here, we're in that first presented fair value gap, and then we come down here. We never take out the low of this, but we respond off of the rejection block, like kind of like planned. And I remember I was starting to think about taking a long right here. I didn't though because once again um, I wasn't like in the right state of mind for it, and so I decided not to. But we had some good targets. There were some equal level highs right here, relatively equal highs right here, and then this fair value gap, and then this order block right here is where ultimately where we ended up. And actually, that's the first presented fair value gap. We actually kind of like mob right into that area. Look at that. Looks like we're starting to move back up. Um, I'd like to see that. I'd like to see us take out all of this stuff right here. Head back up to the RTH gap. Um, and then yeah, so we inverse this fair value gap super quick. We come back up 2 minutes, done, inversed. And that would have been that would probably been the best entry for shorts, I think, right there. Everything else, unless you took it at 8:30 and you kept your stop above this inverse fair value gap right here, and you played it off of the inverse fair value gap. But even then, like maybe using this. What's funny is I was watching a video by ICT and he was talking about how the left side, like the bullish side of the swing, he uses those PD arrays more than he uses the right side. He finds those to be more sensitive. And look at this, we get that retap into that inverse fair value gap, and we respect that fair value gap. We respect that fair value gap. We respect that fair value gap, but then we break it right here, and then we respect that fair value gap. We come back down, and this one we inverse all of the fair value gaps, still respecting this fair value gap though. So this fair value gap right here was a major player in this whole entire thing. Never, so actually what I want to do is I want to hold on to this fair value gap right here. And there we go. See that? So that's the fair value gap that this short ends up rejecting off of. Once again, interesting. So that's just interesting to have that in there, in your back pocket. So yeah, and then we sell off. We hit the rejection wick. We go below 50% of the rejection wick. We come up. We hit 50% of that rejection wick right there. We go back down. So we get this swing high. We take out this buy side. We come back down. Take out this sell side. We swing back up. And then right here, I remember I was kind of like this, since we get the swing high once again, it didn't, breach below this low. It couldn't get lower. Failure. I was like, this is looking like it's pretty good to at least take out these highs right here and then hold a runner, which it did turn out to be pretty good. I think that was a very good run right there. This would have been the 2022 model if I had taken it right there. Fair value gap, retest, and then hold it. But at that point, you're already, well, I guess it's not too bad. You're taking it right there, 67 points from right there, so it's not a bad little run. And then if you were to hold a runner, let's say to these guys right here, it's probably like 100 and some odd points. And so, just not my day though. Not really interested in any more in the market today. Um, so I have multiple combines that I'm working on right now, and I have 17 days on four of them, or on three of them, and then I have 5 days on another one. But the subscriptions are still active, so I'm probably just going to pay the subscription fee and just continue to work on them because I don't like to rush. I'm not trying to rush these guys. Although I do think I need to start, like, I want to get them done. And you can pass these in like 2 days, honestly. There was a lot of really good moves, honestly. This is a 2022 model right here. We're delivering from this order block right here, and I was watching this actually as well. Um, and we hit consequent encroachment. We never candle above it, and then you would have just sold, and you would aim for probably like these equal lows right here, and then this would have been your next target. Um, and then yeah, so see, this is looks like it's gonna fail to me, or we're gonna hit this order block. Anyways, um, I want to see if there's anything else. I kind of want to like, I don't know, like, nah. I think that I want to open up my trading sometimes, and I want to go like trade Asia session because yesterday I was watching Asia session, and I saw that we had gapped. We gapped right here, so we opened up with this gap right here, and then we started dropping down. And I remember watching this. It seemed like I was like, "Ooh, this might look good." No, it didn't look good. And then we took out, that sell side. And then this might look good. No, it didn't. And then we took out the sell side. But then, like by the third time, I was like, "Okay, this is gonna eventually go up." And sure enough, we get a really good move up to the up through that gap up to there was level highs right here. Like that was just a boss move, and it was 200 points, so like that was a good Asia session move, and then we get the sell side delivery, and so had you have sold right here and just held it for the whole entire day or night, you'd have done really well, and you get the 2022 model, so you get the break in structure, fair value gap, retest of the fair value gap, and then we get the delivery. Um, Another spot right here. It's about 7 o'clock right there. Boom. 7 o'clock, we retrace down, and then this is our open. We get that last leg down. So, yeah, I guess, a lot of people struggled today. I was on X and a lot of people struggled today, so I don't feel too terrible about it, but I don't know. I want to be better. I want to be a better trader. So, that's all I got for the review today. Um, Tomorrow's Friday, and we'll see what we get. All right. See ya.